The elections are finally over. Probably. I feel like this has been the most intense election in recent memory, and people all over the world agree. The United States is kind of like a reality TV show, and the entire world tuned in for the highly anticipated season finale that was the presidential election. Though it sort of ended on a cliffhanger with the Senate majority up in the air, but I mean, don't all season finales end on a cliffhanger? Now, in 2021, the next season of the American reality show started out strong with an attempted coup, which is honestly a bold move from a narrative standpoint. I mean, who is writing this stuff? The way the United States elections work then versus now are, on paper, exactly the same. You try to get people to vote for you, and if they vote for you, you win. It's pretty simple. Though the way politicians have worked to get people to vote for them has changed dramatically throughout the last couple centuries. Way back in the day before television and even radio, the American people had no idea who their candidates were as people, let alone what they looked like. So political rallies did not exist the way they do today. Instead, candidates would show up to a town, stand on a tree stump, and deliver a speech addressing the town. This is where the term stump speech comes from. People gathered not in support of the candidate, but to hear what the candidate had to say and see if they were even worth voting for. Nowadays, speeches are typically performed at political rallies, which are giant echo chambers where everyone present typically already supports that candidate. This was not possible back then, as unless the candidate was up for re-election, it was likely no one knew who they were prior to the stump speech. There were newspapers, sure, but every newspaper was published by a specific party, and they were not unbiased. So the general public didn't really view them as particularly trustworthy. Presidential candidates traveled all over the country giving speeches and holding large barbecues in order to win over people and their votes. Presidential candidates even went door to door, including famous founding fathers like Thomas Jefferson, attempting to secure votes. With the widespread use of trains in the mid-1800s, presidential candidates were able to streamline their stump speeches by standing on the back of a train and performing their speech to a crowd at the train station. The use of a train allowed for multiple speeches a day, and since train stations were usually town hubs, it allowed many townsfolk to see and hear speeches from candidates. These were called whistle-stop train tours, and several presidential candidates, including Joe Biden, have used them throughout the years. With the advent of radio, the game totally changed for presidential candidates. One recorded speech could be broadcast throughout the country, and it would reach millions of people. Though this helped, people still liked to see their candidate in person, and many Americans judged candidates by their handshake. Look, a lot of people mock single-issue voters, but there were many people that needed to shake the candidate's hand before voting for them. Presidential candidates relied heavily on appearing like regular people. Being the personable kind of guy who you could grab a drink with was more important than anything else when it came to picking a candidate. Today, candidates have it easier than ever. Basically, all you have to do is be present online and people will vote for you.
Just be there. No matter where he goes, be there. He gets a drink, be there. He talks to his friends, be there. At the end of the night, be there. It's called the Joe Biden.
That's creepy, man.
New Girl may have aired that episode in 2014, but they weren't wrong. All you really need to do is to show up to stuff, and as long as someone got it on camera, you'll get votes. Obviously, that's a little bit of a hyperbole, but the ones who do most of the work are the campaign staff, and the candidates just kind of show up to stuff. A lot of people wish we went back to the old ways of political campaigning, where the politicians worked really hard for a clean campaign. But unfortunately, never in the history of American presidential campaigns have we had a clean campaign. After our boy George Washington left office, every campaign has been dirty, from nasty slogans to satirical drawings and just straight up lying. Political campaigning has never been a clean business. At least nowadays, dirty political ads are just
someone talking in a deep voice, making you wonder, how could you vote for this person?
Luckily for us though, the elections are over, and the next few years we can all relax. Well, I mean, we still have to deal with the pandemic and like a ton of other social issues all over the world, but at least no one is campaigning pretending like they're gonna try to fix them or anything, right? Hi guys, thanks so much for watching. If you liked this video, please be sure to hit that like button. If you want to see more content by me, please consider subscribing to my channel. You should also check out the sponsor to this video, National Realty Group. I'll post a link in the description. Be sure to check them out.